Anyway, let's look at this base. We have a base here that's just finished. This guy been waiting a long time, and like I said, this is what it is. And it's a Class A bass, 4-string, and the core is mahogany, of course, and the top, this one here, is Coca-Cola, and the pickup covers and the center block, the veneer on the center block is Macassar ebony, and the fingerboard is Macassar ebony with Coca-Cola stripe on the outside, and that inside stripe here is Bracoti, right, Pete?
Yes.
And Pete made this, I wanted to show you, Pete made this not, it's ebony and what, Bracoti, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just dressed it up and made us, wow, that's really cool. And a while ago, Joe had made a truss rod cover for something else that didn't work out right, and it was laying here, and Pete said, well, why don't I fix that thing up, and look at that, isn't that nice? Joe, a young man who's only been here, what, a year and a half, 2 years, something like that, you know? He came in because he wanted to learn how to make instruments, and it's all nice work. Joe does really nice work, you know. And that's something I should talk about too, about people who come in here sometimes and, you know, want to learn how to build instruments, and think being around me, they're going to get something. I hope, like I said before, my mother said sheriff, and Pete came in, he was already a Class A woodworker when he came in, and he just had to know how to orchestrate, so to speak. That's what I taught Pete. I taught Pete orchestration. The heat goes here, this goes here, Pete, you know, make the long line here and all that stuff. And of course, Pete, he could do it right away because he already had the skills to do that. You know. And Joe had some of that. And Pete keeps helping Joe. And the new young man that's here, Eben Singer, he's real good too. Again, not a Class A woodworker, but they both of those young boys, they just, they don't get in the way, they don't ask a lot of silly questions, they just kind of stand back and watch what happens, you know. I remember when I used to go out to Jimmy DeAquisto's a lot, and I used to stand there and watch Jimmy work. I very seldom talked at all, just watch him do what he did, you know. And there have been other people who come in here with all kinds of resumes, and they talk about this and they talk about that, and how great they can do this, and I was the greatest woodworker, and I do great fretwork, and they show me an instrument that, you know, looks like a 3-year-old kid made, you know, and this fretwork was all sloppy, and that thing was, some of the instruments I've seen come in like that, you know, there's a lot to be learned right there. If you can do it. I like what Clint Eastwood said. I just read an article in, what magazine was that? What magazine?
GQ?
Huh?
GQ?
Yeah, Gentleman's, what do they call it? Gentleman's Quarterly or something, you know. It was a really nice article. I'd like to meet that guy sometime. I think he'd be the real deal, you know. Anyway, I like what Pete, or what Clint said. When they were the guy who was doing the article asked him, and I'm paraphrasing now. It was the question wasn't what's your philosophy of life, but it was a question like that. That wasn't the exact question, but it was in that zone. And Clint said, "Be true to yourself. Know what you know, and know what you don't know." And that reminded me of my dad when I read that, because I remember my dad was an extremely mechanical person, did all kinds of stuff, you know, would fix everybody's, that little town of Pitcairn where I came from, everybody that had a TV, a washing machine, whatever it was, my dad would be the guy to fix it, you know. We used to get our haircuts at the barber shop because my dad would take care of all the barbers' razors and his cutters and you know what do they cut that the trimmers, what do you
Clippers?
Call it? Yeah, clippers, yeah. You know, my dad kept those things going all the time. So he was a very mechanical man. I remember one time, and he was sitting with the neighbor next door, and this guy said to my dad, he says, "Oh, Jim," that's my dad's name, James Thompson. He said, Jim, you're an amazing guy. He said, sometimes I think you must know everything, you know. And my dad said, and my dad always had that little twinkle in his eye when he would say things like that. He'd say, well, I do know everything. I know everything there is to know, except the things I don't know. And in a way, that's pretty much what Clint was saying, you know what you know and know what you don't know. Because if you know that, then you do know everything. You know, it's a way of knowing everything. If you know what you don't know, that's a lot. And believe me, that's where I'm at. I know what I don't know. People say, well, Carl, you really know a lot about making bases and this and that. You must be very mechanical. No. I know how to do this. That's it. Don't ask me to adjust your clutch, or your carburetor or any of that kind of stuff. No. Make you a base? Yeah, I got a pretty good shot at that. Anyway, I think we could close. I just wanted to say again, thank all you people, and I know Dave keeps telling me you people want to watch these videos. I wish my mother could see them. She would like it, I think. Pete, let's do a close-up of my brother's drawing. Now, I know people see this thing in the background sometimes, but that was my brother did that. That's all, by the way, that's all freehand ink. That's not pencil and then ink. He did that whole thing in ink right from the get-go. He was really a great artist and a really wonderful singer. And he was not only my brother, he was my best friend. And he died way too young. He was only 54. It was around this time of year too. As a matter of fact, he went to sleep Christmas Eve in 1985 and didn't wake up. And yeah, I wish he were here too. Anyway, see you guys on the next video. We'll be talking about truss rods and stuff. Say bye, Pete.
Bye, Pete.
Say bye, Dave.
Bye, Dave.